In this clip, we are going to introduce the film Song of the Ccgl, which is a movie directed by Anne Hui. Anne introduced the themes of displacement and migration that have become key features of New Hong Kong cinema. As Hong Kong's foremost female director, her films also showcase women of their everyday intimacies in the domesticity of the home and their transformation in public life. Hill is part of the Hong Kong New Wave that inaugurated a new style and a local idea for cinemas in the 1980s. During the 1980s, the film industry began to flourish. Many Chinese households did not have a TV at that time. Films served as the primary source of entertainment. Many of the New Wave's directors had a Western-style education, and those were influenced by Western filmmaking and culture. Some of the essays trace the post-war life of a Japanese woman married to a Chinese nationalist soldier. Her daughter's discovery of her mother's race, she accompanies her homesick mother back to her native town in Japan. Moving deftly between the past and the present through a series of extended flashbacks, the story takes place across China, Britain, Macau, Hong Kong, and Japan. In the Song of the Ccgl, migration are represented in the film through the motif of travel. Bicycles, ferries, bus, trains, and harbors punctuate the film as the protagonists move from place to place. The film opens with an extreme close-up of a bicycle wheel and pans out to Hyun riding on the streets of London on the eve of her departure. And in Japan, Hyun explores the countryside on a border bicycle.
Aiko and Hyun at the Catholic border by the dawn of daylight. The camera framing from their backs connotes the introspection of the scene, similar to the motif of flashbacks used in the film. This similarity functions as a technique of literal and symbolic transition between past memories and present narration. These techniques of transition are also evident in the earlier sea sequence when Aiko leaves Macau and the teenage Hyun arrives in Hong Kong. These sequences are followed by a similar scene at the harbor where Aiko and Hyun bidding farewell to Hu Wei and her husband, where a flashback immediately follows.
In Macau, Hyun looks out of the window as the visual lives with her parents. From the lingering point of view of a young Hyun by the first-floor apartment window in Macau, a long shot of her parents leaving Macau. This shot shows the deliberate intimacy of her gaze and captures her indirect love.
Japanese rice fields and rural farms are introduced with a long spectatorial shot from the window of a moving train. Hyun and Aiko arrive in Beppu on a bus. All these motif anchors the mobility of migration as a human link between places, represented by the places of departure, arrival, and resettlement. The camera frames Hyun's point of view as she types her resume. The close-up shot magnifies how the truth of her identity reveals the contradictions between geographical origin and legal citizenship. It is significant in the consideration of diaspora. When typing her personal details on the resume, Hyun's marginal status is introduced. Born in Hong Kong, she is naturalized and given the right to adopt in Britain due to Hong Kong's status as a colony of Britain. However, as a naturalized migrant and Chinese student, she faces discrimination as an ethnic minority. Hyun carries a suitcase full of food as she walks across the bridge to Guangzhou. At the Westminster Bridge, Hyun is smiling and carefree. At this bridge, however, her struggle with the heavy suitcase reflects the symbolic struggle of Hong Kong as it anticipates its 1997 return to China.